photograph of what we first drove up to, um, and the four of us walked through lots and lots of these beautiful reeds, big flat horizon line, huge sky. We loved it. I think it worked out beautifully weather-wise anyhow. And we went through these reeds. You could see opening water and pond, and then actually opening into Lake Ontario. I had not been to Braddock Bay in over 40 years. And it was just a beautiful release, I think, for me. And we took photos. I made 7 paintings based on Braddock Bay. And one was the most realistic of any of, or most literal of any of that one, yep, of any of the paintings I did for the entire show. And I think 3 or 4, you're seeing one there, were very, very, 180 in the other direction were very abstract and non-objective. So I went sort of from very literal to really abstract. And then in the middle were the plant paintings, 2 of them. One is the biggest one I made in the show. It's about 40 inches high. That's one. And then there was another one similar to it. And so I sort of, my point in all of this is that there was a range of very literal to very loose and very non-objective work, and I really enjoyed that.
And these are some of the images you were talking about that informed us.
Yeah. 2 or 3 paintings with the chartreuse and the magenta and the pinks and the yellows and the greens, and there's a bit of purple in there. And I don't use those. I had not been using those colors on a regular basis or very often, and so that sort of opened up new colorways for me, which was interesting. And I enjoyed that.
How did you decide to go to Braddock Bay? I mean, was that your decision, or?
No, it was Nancy's or Zan's or Courtney's.
Braddock Bay was my stomping ground for 26 years.
Oh yeah, that's right, Nancy.
It was my neighborhood park. We lived near it, and my kids, my whole family, we went there every week.
And did this place inspired work from each of you, or Judy, do you think that this was the most of the paintings for you came from this place? Or it
was the largest number of paintings in the show for me. They were based on Braddock Bay, but it wasn't necessarily the one that hit me as the deepest or the most inspiration or whatever. I just enjoyed it, and it was so nice. I'm a city girl pretty much, and it was getting out of the city and coming to, in minutes you're right here at this gorgeous body of water with beautiful land around it. And, you can see hawks, and it was just beautiful to be there so quickly and get your camera out and start taking photos.
So I know every inch of this park, and I love it on so many levels. I love it because it's protected wetlands, so we know how important that is. It's so diverse because you have land, vegetation, and animals meeting wetlands, meeting the lake. So you have this entire diverse. I just love it on the scientific level. I love it aesthetically. I love it socially. A lot of people come out there to go fishing and all kinds of recreational areas. But going back to what Judy said, when I first moved out there, it was that sense of space. It's completely flat. Mm-hmm. Unlike all the other parks we visited, that were hilly. It was, you're at sea level, so it is completely flat. And it's that sense, I always use the word volume. When I'm there, I feel like I'm in a large volume of space. Yeah. And that's always what inspired me there. So those cattails, when it's windy out, they all wave in unison, back and forth. On a very windy day, it's almost like they are alive. It's so beautiful.
And Zan, you had an image. I know Judy painted you know, something similar to what we're seeing on the screen now, and you did as well, right?
Yes, yeah, and I would say my painting of Braddock Bay was also as realistic as I get. Changing the water to lavender was my I had to do something to make it not so realistic, but it's also a place of migration of birds, and so I think just when you think of the birds and the fish and nature all coming together, it's a really special area to visit, and I think we all came away with some great images, but also some sense of earthly, spiritual guidance from the trip. That's what I recall.
Right. And Courtney, did anything stand out about Braddock Bay for you?
I actually did 2 pieces from that trip, and I had been to Braddock Bay before, but it was exciting to kind of go there with the group, and, you know, especially from Nancy's perspective, because she knew so much about the background. It was a beautiful day. It was a gorgeous day. It was hot out. You know, we kicked off our shoes and went in the water. You know, like Zan was saying, that my most realistic painting was also done at Braddock's Bay. But my favorite painting, because I did 2, my favorite painting was also done at Braddock's Bay.
There's always more to say about Braddock's Bay.
All right.
Right now is spring migration, as Zan said, because the warmth, all those hawks follow those warm currents along the edge of the lake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is prime time right now. April and May was just prime time for viewing.